Camper. This is Michael Payton, and welcome back. This is The Free Supporting the Brave. Alright, our first topic today is Lone Survivor. A lot of you all have seen the new movie coming out called Lone Survivor. It's about a team of Navy SEALs, 4 SEAls, who are basically just doing recon and things.
They're basically the reconning Ahmed Shah, and as they're taking a rest, as Ahmed Shah is down in the village, a group of goat herders stumble upon them. Now, when this happens, they have to capture the goat herders and decide what they wanted to do. Now, they had 3 options. 1 was to cut them loose, let them go, or 2, tie them up, and they would eventually, freeze to death because it gets really cold out in Afghanistan at night, or kill them. Now, if they were to kill them, they would face UCMJ, which is Uniform Code Military Justice, which is basically a military jail for Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. They ended up letting them go, but the people who they let go, they went and told Ahmed Shah and his men, and that's when...
And in this case, when they met up with the goat herders, it is the team leader's decision on what happens. And the team leader was Lieutenant Michael Murphy. He made the choice to let them loose. Either way, it would have been a risk, so no one can be held accountable for this, and nothing can be really done about it. Either way, something would have happened, So he really was looking out for
them because they were unarmed.
He was looking out for them, and he was looking out for his team because he didn't want his team to be put possibly in jail, definitely be taken to court over it. And really, no matter what, there was no way out. There was something going to go wrong. So, of course, they let him go. The goat herders ended up meeting up with the Taliban group in the village that they were doing recon on, and eventually the 4 SEALs found themselves encountering
around 80.
Oh, way more. It was an unknown amount, but definitely more than they could have handled. Even with all their training, they had no way to prepare. They weren't prepared for this. They were prepared for simply watching.
They were prepared for reconnaissance. They weren't prepared. Well, I mean, they were prepared, but
they were as prepared as they were. They were as prepared as
they could have been.
Yeah.
It's just a simple way to put it.
And when they were on the side of a mountain, which eventually ended up collapsing on them, and they fell down the mountain. The only survivor, Marcus Luttrell, ended up actually breaking his back, and team leader Lieutenant Michael Murphy literally smashed his face. So there's really no easy way to get out of there.
And they were all shot. I mean, as soon as they fell down the mountain, none of them died from the fall itself. They were all killed from gunshots, but of course, all of them were shot multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
One guy was even shot in the face, and he couldn't see, and he ended up dying. But that's how tough he was.
He went blind, and he ended up laying on Marcus Luttrell's leg, and he told him he's like,
couldn't do anything.
He said, "I'm sorry, man, I can't do anything. I'm blind." So, and then it was only 3 people.
Well, actually, the first guy to die was Danny Deep.
That's correct. While Marcus Luttrell was literally dragging him to safety, he got shot in the head and died.
Yeah, as he picked him up because they were going to jump off another cliff.
So he was out. One guy's blind. That leaves Marcus Luttrell and team leader Lieutenant Michael Murphy. And that's when Lieutenant Michael Murphy made the call to go up on a ridge with his satellite phone, which was the only place he had service, was on that ridge, and make a call to
the base
to get in their QRF, which is
a quick reaction force.
Exactly. And on his way back,
when he went up to the ridge, it was an open site. All the enemy fighters could see him, and he got shot multiple times, but he made the call, and he just ended the call with, thank you.
Yep.
And he ended up dying. After his death, he ended up getting the Medal of Honor. I'm not sure how long after, but he got the Medal of Honor for it.
It had been, I think, about a year, because the process is at least a year, even for the Navy Cross, which is the 2nd highest award. So obviously it had to have been at least a year. But either way, he got what he deserved, and that was the Medal of Honor. He saved his team. If it was not for that, No one would have known they were in danger. Nothing to the base. Nothing would have been wrong. Okay. Um, the actual person that he made the call to commented on the fact that he said thank you at the end. He literally ended a message with thank you. Bullets are flying everywhere. He's wounded. He's really hurt, but he still says thank you, which they made a pretty big deal about that. And sadly, on his way back from that ridge, he was killed. And Marcus Luttrell even mentioned he heard Michael Murphy crying and yelling for Marcus to help him. And Marcus even said he dropped his gun and he held his hands over his ears because he said he could not stand to hear the sounds of his fallen brother.
But there was nothing he can do. It's not like he did that and he could have saved him. There was nothing he could have done.
He had someone else he had to take care of too. There were 4 men on the team. 2 were already gone, okay, counting Michael Murphy. So he had someone else to really take care of. He couldn't just leave that person by himself. And, I mean, what would he do, okay? He goes to save someone that's probably already going to die, and then he dies, you know? So what Marcus Luttrell did, he said it was cowardice. He said he was a coward for dropping his rifle.
I do not believe that. He's a hero. That's just one way to put it.
What he did was tough. Something I couldn't do. I would love to be that guy. I'd love to be the guy that's like, yeah, I can do it, but I can't. I know I can't. I don't know what I would do. I probably would have ran, right? I don't want to say that, but I probably would. So
now, eventually, the only 2 people who were left was Marcus Luttrell and Matt Axelson. Matt eventually died from the wounds he had. Marcus Luttrell ended up getting knocked out, and then when he woke up, that's when he found out that Matt was dead. And that whole night, what he would do was he would draw a line in front of him, crawl to that until his feet got past, and he'd do it the whole night. The next morning, he was still being followed by the Taliban. He found some water, and that's when a group of Afghan locals, what were they called?
I can't remember the exact name. I think it was Pashtun. It was a Pashtun tribe.
Yeah.
Or it was like a Pashtun-Wali tribe or Pashtun-Wali tribe that actually had a code where if they see someone in need, like dire need of their assistance, they will protect that person with all they have until the last person. And that's exactly what they did for Marcus Luttrell. They took care of him, they fed him, they got him safe, and they even defended him against a group of Taliban that threatened the entire tribe to burn their houses down. He said the Taliban leaders said that they were going to kill the wives, the cousins of the tribe leader.
And the children, too.
And the children. It was brutal. And a lot of that actually happened. In the end, after the American troops actually got to Marcus Luttrell and all was done, the tribe leader actually got one of his cousins killed because he protected Marcus Luttrell, and some of the houses got burned down. But what they did was beyond brave.
Yeah. Marcus and the guy who saved them are good friends to this day. Marcus is currently, I don't know if he has done it yet, is trying to get him a green card for him to come over to the U.S. because he had to go into hiding because he did that. But I mean, he still comes over to the U.S. and everything.
They actually come over to there's a ranch that Marcus lives on in Texas, and the tribe leader is actually goes there a lot, visits there as much as possible. Marcus Luttrell, like he said, is really trying to get him a green card to get him and his family safe, which I respect 100%. That's what he deserves.
Marcus Luttrell calls him his brother because they shared blood, sweat, and tears together. I mean, it's pretty much a definition of a brother or sister if you're a girl.
So, our next subject, Navy Cross for Marines killed in insider attack.
Wait, I had one more after that. Just one more thing to put out there. Matt Axelson and Danny Dietz, the other 2 who died, they also got the Navy Cross, as did Marcus Luttrell.
Oh, that is correct. He did.
Forgot to mention that.
Which is second highest award next to the Medal of Honor. As I was saying, Navy Cross for Marines killed in insider attack. At Camp Pendleton, California, for the posthumous award of the Navy Cross, the nation's second highest award for valor, to Captain Manukian and Staff Sergeant Sky R. Moat, both members of the Marine Special Operations Team 8133. Okay. I really don't know a whole lot about the story. I looked up as much as I could, but these two obviously were killed in action and are being awarded the second highest award for valor. Okay, these two guys deserve our respect. Okay, these two literally made the biggest sacrifice anyone can make in the world. Okay, they literally laid down their life. Okay, for this country, and not just our country, but for the country that they were in. Okay, so I wanted to have kind of a shout out for those two, and also realize that both of these are leaders. Okay, there's a captain and a staff sergeant. Okay, these are main leaders. Like captain is like a company commander type level. Staff sergeant is a platoon level leader. Okay, these guys have lots of men under their command, which means they were also protecting those people. They were protecting their men. So I just want to kind of shout out for them. Our next subject: 9 Taliban were killed during an ISAF base. ISAF stands for International Security Assistance Force, just so you all know.
Or ISAF.
Yeah, ISAF.
I don't know too much about it.
Okay.
You're the one who found out.
There was an attack on a NATO base, and basically just 9 Taliban were killed. They were attacking the base, and NATO officials say really all they said was that 9 insurgents attacked a NATO military base in the Zirai district. It's really all they said. I looked in, like I said, as much as I could. I just kind of want y'all to have at least a little bit of an update on. There are big bases, major bases that are being attacked. Okay.
We're not. I mean, we're still in the fight in Afghanistan. So.
Correct.
Another thing that happened is 5 Guard members were wounded in Afghanistan. They were members of the Minnesota National Guard, and they were all wounded in a suicide attack in Afghanistan carried out by suspected Taliban combatants. There's really not a lot of information about this one either. It happened around Monday morning around 10:30 a.m. on the base in Kandahar province.
And just a shout out here, there was a soldier killed, Chief Warrant Officer Edward Bali, who was 42, of Monterey, California. We're still losing a lot of people in this war. Okay, it may be pointless to you, but it still happens. Yeah, they were only wounded, but there was still one killed. Okay, look out for that person. All right, look out for that person's family. There's really not much we can say about it.
And this pretty much is kind of the ending for our video. I'd like to give a special thanks to Marcus Luttrell and what he did and his group. Also, if you guys feel the need, to donate money to anybody, Marcus Luttrell actually has a group called the Lone Survivor Foundation. And if a couple bucks, whatever. If you would like to subscribe to Lone Survivor Foundation, try to look it up on Google.
Yep, look it up, just lonesurvivorfoundation.org. Like I've already subscribed to it, and really what it does is it gives you updates and stuff like that. Like on there, he actually has a retreat for people that have post-traumatic stress disorder, and he also has a new book too, or not really a new book. It's the book that came out with the movie. It's called Just Survivor. And it really kind of gives you, like, how movies always kind of stray a little bit from the actual meaning. Well, his book shows you from Marcus Luttrell's perspective. Now you can actually see what's really happening through his eyes, the lone survivor's eyes. And just want to also shout out, most of our sources came from military.com. Look it up, military.com/daily-news. A lot of good information.
And one more thing, go see Lone Survivor. It was a great movie. I've seen it more than once.
Great movie. It really is. All right, that's all the time we have. You have a good week.